What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of our favorite and your favorite wrestling podcast, Lucha House Show Podcast. That's Lucha HSB on all the socials and Instagram and all the other sweet stuff that you young kids and older kids like me and Rod listen to. Rod, I included you in the older kids,
Thank you.
but
It's all right. I'm,
anyway,
I'm part of that.
me is I'm Mars, the voice of violence, and as always, I'm joined here at the Spanish announce table, which undoubtedly will get smashed by a powerbomb or something later in the episode, by my colleague Rowdy Rod. Man, we have got so much to talk about today. So much has happened in the last couple of weeks. We're going to briefly touch on the stuff that's going on with Ray Phoenix, and AEW, and how that situation's gotten rather unsavory, and how it got there and where we think it might end up. The return of Tony Storm, the real Tony Storm. We'll
Oh,
have a
yeah.
bit to say about that. We're going to go over to the WWE after that. We're going to talk about the Karrion Cross effect and finally Karrion Cross being used properly. The new day, which I'm going to have a lot to say about because it really is a new day. We're going to talk Survivor Series. We're going to talk casualties of war games, injury updates. Man, that was a good show.
Yeah.
But man, it had some devastating effects on some of the talent. We're going to talk Survivor Series more in depth as well. We're talking the return of Drew McIntyre, and we're going to end up talking with the retro cool Saturday night main event. So, Rowdy Rod, flick that switch and let's kick it off with Ray Phoenix and AEW.
Yeah, man. Oh, good to hear you back. Good to be back doing the podcast because what fuck, we going away and so much stuff happening. Sometimes we think nothing's happening, everything is happening. So it's like bombarded with too much stuff. Oh, like you said, we're gonna talk about Ray Phoenix and AEW, which for my liking is just giving all the right to CM Punk. Just it sounds like CM Punk was more and more right every single time. So Phoenix and AEW is getting really ugly. The last few tweets from Ray Phoenix were really savage, if
Mm,
anything. Which one of them was like, ask for a doctor and you refuse to give it to me, and
yep.
the other one was, um, who wants to stay in a place when when you receive inhumane treatment, which was
Yeah, it was
pretty
pretty
tough.
damning, wasn't it? Yeah.
That was crazy. Now, what has been coming lately, and that is Ray Phoenix actually hasn't been injured. He's just being used as an excuse.
Mm,
The injury side and the reason why the Lucha Brothers has been used is a completely different thing, and it's way more darker than what it looks like. Um, and of course, we got Pentagon left, and
yeah.
it was shown in AAA, which
Yep.
I think we agree that this is just a stepping stone waiting for Phoenix to get released and going to AEW and get released and probably both of them going to WWE. What are your thoughts on this, man? This is getting uglier and it's giving a lot of like reason to what CM Punk used to say.
Yeah. I mean, the more things pan out, the more, as you say, like CM Punk was right. I mean, that definitely there's a t-shirt in that, isn't there?
Mhm.
But yeah, it's look, I know you're a huge fan of the Lucha Brothers, and like I want to see them in WWE as well. But and look, I don't think the way AEW is handling it, or the way we're told AEW is handling it, is the right way. And I'm really looking forward to when Ray finally has his say, which he's I think he tweeted out as well. I'm gonna have my
Yeah,
say too. Like, so that'll be interesting because obviously there's two sides to every coin. But yeah, it's just, I mean, it's just more of the ongoing problems with AEW. I wonder what our former colleague
oh,
Renzo
fuck
Renzo would have
you.
to say to defend AEW in this case. Renzo always, I like to call him the Big E of Lucha House Show podcast. You
Yeah.
know, who left us to move to the big city. Um, Actually, he moved to the furthest thing from the big city
Yeah, I
possible.
know.
Actually, but
You're far away from that.
he left the big city to move to the Midwest. But we digress. Look, I think it's a sad situation. Look, I don't even know why AEW wants to hang on to him. It's well, not obviously, but it's probably a case of like not wanting him to go to WWE straight away, not wanting to get that momentum. But They don't need him. They've got momentum, and all they're
Yeah,
doing is hurting him. They're hurting him, and they're hurting wrestling fans.
100%.
Because if they don't want him, like it reminds me of like for the football enthusiasts among us, like you and I are, it
Mm.
reminds me of AC Milan in the '90s. They just bought everybody,
Oh yeah.
just sit them on the bench. It's kind of like Manchester City, but without the yeah, without the dodgy payments or whatever. So I don't know. I mean, you're a big fan. What are your thoughts, mate?
Look, it just for me, what it is coming to my head, it just CM Punk's stuff, then the Lucha Brothers saying stuff, and then with none of other wrestlers saying some stuff about AEW. What it makes me question is why is Adam Copeland still there? Why is Brian Danielson still there? Why is John Moxley still there? Why Ricochet went there? Like it
I
just makes
think
me question so many stuff. It's just it what I feel it could be. It just there's two completely different AEWs. There's one
yeah,
AEW that has favorites, and those one get looked after and get taken care of,
yes,
and they get chill away from all this bullshit.
yeah,
Bullshit because that's how they're gonna probably call it. Oh,
yeah,
this is not happening, whatever. And then you got the B side of AEW, which all the wrestlers they don't really care about it. And they get treated like shit. Like we heard this in the first time we heard that.
mm,
Um, and those ones they get pushed away from because remember Ricky Start as well. He came out
yeah.
and
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
and and he said a lot of stuff. And we're talking about Ricky Start. He was important part of AEW. So did the Lucha Bros at one point, big fan favorites. So I don't know, man. This is going really bad for AEW, and it's soaring everywhere. You see what happened in Australia.
yeah.
It's getting worse and worse here.
Oh well, they went from a 50,000 seat stadium to a 15,000 seat arena.
It hasn't even
Um,
sold out yet,
no, it hasn't
and
sold
we're
out yet.
like we're what 2 months away from it,
2 months away. Yeah, less than 2 months away.
and you can't even sold
Um,
out at a freaking convention center. I mean,
and
that's
look, it's just, and I've said this in one of our past episodes, and like, let me just, as I say, I always premise this: I like AEW. I don't want AEW to fail.
oh same.
AEW, AEW succeeding is great for the wrestling business, but like, it's if you can't see the similarities between AEW, and this is what I've said before, and I'll say it again, if you can't see the similarities between what's happening at AEW with what's happened at WC, with what happened at WCW, then you're not looking. You're not
Yeah,
looking, because just on the surface, you've got like you said, like there's it looks like there's two AEWs. You've got your top like your main event wrestlers, you got like the names that you mentioned, and then you've got the rest of the card. The same thing you had in WCW. You had Hulk Hogan, who was not in charge of creative, but he was in charge of his own creative. He controlled stuff. He made calls. Like even if creative wanted to go one way, he switched that up. It's all there to see. If you watched Who Killed WCW, this is all. I'm not. This is not news. This is. I'm not scooping
yeah.
anything. This is all news. You had the older wrestlers running the show, keeping the younger wrestlers down. That's what's happening at AEW. You had a man with a shitload of money who liked wrestling, or Ted Turner didn't like wrestling, but he liked the idea of having a wrestling company.
Yeah,
Tony Khan's got a shitload of money and he loves wrestling.
yeah.
So they kept that they're not worried about pumping money into an organization. They're not worried about that at all. You then have TV channels who are worried about TV revenue, advertising revenue, and they're paying for this product. And if they're not getting money back, then they don't want it on their channels anymore,
But
which
that's
is
a weird
kind of what
thing.
happened.
But that's a weird thing because AEW somehow keep striking deals with TV, and that's what's strange.
Because yeah, because the product isn't bad. The wrestling product isn't bad. The storytelling needs help. The long-term storytelling really needs help, and they need to. Their live, um, their gate numbers are really low. If you believe
Yeah.
everything that's said, and some of the videos are bullshit. Like there's some hater accounts on Instagram that say, "Oh, look at people walking out of AW," which is fucking bullshit. Because what it was there was a double taping, and there was people living during the intermission to I don't know to go buy food, go to the toilet, whatever. So that's
Mm.
bullshit. So you got to sift through the bullshit. But the reality is they're not getting big gate numbers. But the money's not in gate numbers. there is money in gate numbers. If you're pulling the gate numbers that WWE does and what they charge, like I can't imagine what the gate for WrestleMania 41 is going to be with the ticket price. It's
Oh
going to
man,
be
this close to like
unbelievable.
I
Yeah,
think we're looking at
yeah.
money. It was like $100,000
So
for ticket.
yeah, so look, it's just AEW's got some issues. They need to fix them, and treating Ray Phoenix like that is not the way to fix them.
Yeah.
And it's gone at this stage. It looks like the people that are like the hardcore AEW fans are the WWE haters because like I'm a wrestling fan. I'm too cool to be a WWE fan. I'm not like the rest. I'm better than you. I know the inside deal. I know what's going
Mm,
on because I read all the fucking dirt sheets. I'm part of the internet wrestling community. I know all the shit that's going down.
yeah.
Fuck all. you know, um, so it's that type of elitism that's probably keeping the live ticket numbers up for AEW. But and when I say up, I don't mean up because they're not up.
No,
I
but they
know I
keep
said
it
a
up,
lot there,
baby.
but you know what I'm getting at. Yeah.
Yeah, I fully understand. And yeah, like we just and look, like we said many times, me and Renzo, we just started following AEW when AEW was a rumor on Twitter.
Mm,
That's when
mm,
we started following AEW. Like from the get go, first day we watched the first All In, we watched everything. The first
mm,
like TV show. Like we just from there from the beginning because it was a good product, it was fucking awesome. It was a time WWE was soaring big time, and then Hunter took over and just we know the story now. But yeah, AEW needs to fix his stuff. But yeah, it makes it harder for follow the product. It's like when you stop following the WWE, it's the same thing.
yeah.
You got to a point that you just can't follow the product anymore. It
I
just
just didn't
gets
like watching it anymore. I didn't.
you couldn't watch it. It's
No.
like why am I watching? Why am I wasting my
Yeah.
time on this?
Yeah. Mm,
It is not value anymore. And that's
mm,
for me. That's what's happening with WWE, with AEW. It's getting to a point that it's like I haven't even bought the ticket. I think I haven't watched any of the
mm.
pay-per-views in quite some time now. And I used to buy every single one of them because you had to
And that's
buy
the
them
thing. They're
too.
still they're still using that outdated pay per view model.
Yeah.
Mm,
And then we got WWE, got to Netflix. So it just, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, with the Lucha Bros, this comes to an end. The other thing I read somewhere in there, they might get, if Red Phoenix might get released, and Tony Khan won't push the, oh, you owe me days into this, and he will be released in April.
mm. Well,
Um,
hopefully, because there was a rumor that he'd added an extra year to the contract because of injury, which
exactly.
would be
But
insane. Like a year out is just like you
a
can't.
year a year, yeah, it's just stupid. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's, and we got Pentagon Junior was sitting down at home doing nothing.
Mm,
And now and this is part of the thing because he appeared in AAA, and
yeah,
you were like, what the fuck? He appeared in AAA, and
but
why?
he's a free agent now, isn't he?
He's a free agent, but why didn't appear in AAA before? That's the question. And then we got New Japan showing CMLL. So that we
Mm,
see like it just there's some stuff happening in the background that we don't know.
mm,
But then again, I don't know why. Like it looks like the AAA and AEW partnership's completely gone, and that's when WWE is stepping in now. And then CMLL is joining with New Japan, which is strengthening a little bit AEW. But CMLL, yes, it is one of the oldest wrestling companies out there. It's one of the biggest companies
mm,
in Mexico. But at the same time, it doesn't have the drag the AAA has. And partnership now with them, it just they're not getting the same quality wrestlers that we're getting from AAA. That's the reality of it. But we'll see how it goes. Things are going different with AEW. We're talking about AEW. We got the return of Tony Storm, the proper Tony Storm, not the timeless Tony Storm, which was a pretty good one. But we return the Tony Storm and the way the people received her, she just got taken back. A little bit of tears were coming out, and she just, man, this is feud because this feud continues with Mariah May. This
mhm.
is crazy because she stopped it. Like it's kind of like Mariah May completely killed the timeless Tony Storm and brought back the old hardcore Tony Storm. What are your thoughts on this, man? And where did this gonna go now?
Oh, I love it, man. I love it. I was never a big fan of Timeless Tony Storm. I mean, it's great. She's a great character. She did great work, but I didn't personally like that character. Um, but Tony Storm being back to being the proper Tony Storm, that leather jacket, that like yeah, that's what I like. There, the face paint. No, that's what I like, man. I'm looking forward to, and that's one of the positive things that AEW has.
Yeah.
One of the many, because it does have many positive things. But yeah, I'm really happy that Tony Storm's back.
And continue the story. That's a good thing. It's continue the
Yeah,
storyline that was being. So it's been a long term storyline, which is one of the few that AEW's been able to holding together. Which most of them like kind of come and go. But it's one of the stories that has to continue because we haven't seen it. She lost the title and she's coming back for revenge now. So it's a continuation of that story. So it's fucking great.
yeah,
Um, and that's pretty much with AEW, man. We just gotta jump into WWE. We gotta jump into WWE. There's
so
too
much.
much, so much happening in there. But the one thing we gotta talk about because it's kind of weird because we didn't realize, and probably was always the work, is the carrying cross effect.
Yes.
It's insane. Like I didn't. It just it's kind of the breakaway effect when you didn't realize until oh my god, like it's the bloodline storyline. So it looks like for me, we're gonna talk in a little bit to what the carrying cross effect is, but it looks to me that Hunter is doing a lot of storylines they they're already building, but we're just not seeing it. But it's
Yeah.
already building. It's a lot of
Mm.
them. A lot. They were like,
Yeah.
why is not using this wrestler? Why is not using this wrestler? Why not?
Mm.
But it's building so many storylines in the background that by the time he needs them, those storylines kick in. They've already been
Yes.
in the background. They've already been working. And when you realize, it's like, oh, this been happening like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
going on here? So, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think is that reality? Hunters, this what he's doing? He's just building big ass storylines in the background that is just little breadcrumbs everywhere. Then when you
Mm.
need them, they come together, or just
Oh,
just
without
me
doubt.
imagination?
No, no, no. I agree with you 100%. I think that's exactly what they're doing, and we can see that with the Punk and Seth Rollins stories, and even with the Bloodline and the new Bloodline. Like if you look back to stuff, and like there's sites that have been doing that and showing us things that like explain what's going on now. Like you even go back a couple of years. That's exactly what they're doing. And I've been singing the praises of Karrion Cross for a very long time on this show. I think he was severely underworked, but look, I might have been wrong. And like this, like you said, this might have been little breadcrumbs because what he's doing now is fantastic. That faction he's got at the Final Testament and the feud that they now got with the White Six,
Yeah,
that's I'm loving that. And the fact now that at the moment they're on top because after Paul Ellering came back and threw the white dust into
yeah,
um, Bo Dallas's well Uncle Howdy's face, they're on top. The Final Testament are clearly on top. So nah, man, it's great, and he's got like there is that Bray Wyatt vibe about him, man.
yeah.
He's
But
got
he
even
in
when
the
he
chair, you see how they put in the chair
yeah,
now.
yeah, and he cuts the promos like the stuff he does on social media,
Are
like
we
it's
talking
got
about
that
Korean Cross?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's fucking
He's
nuts.
got
He's
those
like Break
yeah.
Wyatt, and he's
He's
referring
got
Break
those
Wyatt a
dark
lot.
undertones. Yeah, he even put on Instagram a tweet or a DM that Bray had sent him when he was still
Yeah,
alive. So man, like he's really good, and like finally, like I said, they're finally using him, and like the authors of Pain, like they're animals, man, they're beasts.
yeah,
So they're reinforcing, man. Then you got Scarlett, who's like not only is she drop dead gorgeous, with all due respect,
yeah.
but she can wrestle.
Oh yeah.
She can wrestle really well.
Watch Triple A. If you if
Yeah,
you haven't seen Scarlet Wrestle, just watch Triple A, man.
yeah.
Old school Triple
So
A.
nah, man, that's and like I think this feud with the White Six is going to go for a while. And
Yeah,
now obviously the Miz is part of them now, which is great, and Paul Ellering's back, and now it's just I'm really excited about that storyline and how it's going to evolve. I
yeah.
know you're
And
a big fan of the Wyatts, but I know
oh,
you're also a big fan of Karrion Cross.
I'm a big fan of both, and this is my thoughts, and this is what I think is happening. So, as what Bray Wyatt used to do, which you will recruit people, but you didn't know until it happens. I think that's the current cross effects right now because yeah, we seen Nakamura left after Kieran Cross, and now how Nakamura came back. A
Oh,
dark,
how good
really
is he?
dark
Oof,
Nakamura.
how good is he, man?
AJ Styles left, and AJ Styles came back as the Lone Wolf, and it's the
Mm,
same thing. Kieran Cross was involved in it. Carmelo Haynes in NXT after he stopped with Karen Cross, he came back like completely different Carmelo
mm,
Haynes. The Miz now, and this ties in with the New Day storyline because he also is involved in what's happening with Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. So what it looks to me that's gonna happen. One already says to you the Y6 two have to go against the bloodline because you know Roman Reigns has taken something back, has took something that was
Oh, but that won't happen
going.
for a very, very long time if it happened.
But this the thing. When that happened, that will be the next big storyline, which will be these two massive factions that we didn't know that were there, but by the time it happens, they're gonna be there, which is Final Testament and the Y6, and we'll see this. I think we'll see this really dark,
Mm,
like horror kind of style WWE going against each other, which will be the next big thing, or at least in one of the two brands. So I don't know where they're gonna go, depending on what's happening in Netflix, but that'll be the next big storyline in one of the brands, which
well,
will
I
carry
can
on.
even see, I can even see the White Six going after the New Day because they go after people that break up families,
Yeah,
and what they did to Big E, was
they
pretty
were already
nasty.
they were already going against like Xavier
Yeah,
Woods, so
yeah,
there's still,
that's right.
but it's going against them, or they're gonna work with them, or
Mm,
they are the ones that are gonna go to the YS6, or they're gonna go to Karen Cross. Like this is that's what I said before. Like is Wyatt, what was Bray Wyatt was doing? He was recruiting people. He was the eater of worlds. He
mm,
was never about winning. He was just recruiting people in the background. He was ended up in this puppet master in the background. Um, that's what Karen Cross is doing. That's why the YS6 are doing. Um, so it just looks like they're in the background, puppeteering a lot of stories
mm.
that at one point when they need them, they're gonna come together. It's gonna be this massive war game or survivor series or all like all in. I don't know what's gonna happen, but it's crazy how things are starting to find out together. And I think all the time we said, "Ah, fuck Karen Cross, they're not using it properly." Uh, probably was,
Maybe they were. Yeah,
probably there was because remember he's still involved something with Roman Reigns. We got so
yeah,
many.
but I mean that's gonna take if those two storylines collide, it's not gonna be for a very long time. There's just so much story to be told on both sides.
But remember, at one point, Roman Reigns gonna be alone.
Yeah,
It's
that's
still,
gonna be a long way away, man.
I
That's
don't know
gonna
if
be a
it
long way
like
away.
it's depending how things are going.
They're just getting back together now.
Yeah, I know, but not really. That's the thing. They're not really together. That's the thing. Roman Reigns still think he's the boss of everyone. You know, we still don't know what Sami Zayn had done with the phone. We still don't know what Paul Heyman's gonna do. Like, there's so many things that could leave Roman Reigns alone. And up for taking. I don't know. It's crazy this Karen Cross effect, which is happening like a big Y effects. It's freaking awesome. And talking about that, we just mentioned them. The new days, new path. I think you're pretty happy with it because I loved when it happened.
Yes, I loved it. I did love it. Let me explain. I don't hate the New Day. I don't hate the New Day.
I
But
know.
for me, the New Day represents the era of the PG era of WWE where I dropped off, where I stopped watching the product because it was not something that I liked. So the pancakes, the bootios, the trombone, like no, I don't want to see them back. And when Big E came out, and they're all going to celebrate all that, and they had the old stuff there in the ring, and when they turned on Big E, that was a thing of beauty. And like, what a massive heel turn! Like
Massive.
that was one of the biggest heel turns in history. I'm not saying it's as big as Hulk Hogan because no one's going to be as big as Hulk Hogan's heel turn, but it was a massive heel turn in the sense that it was like, for me, the full stop in the PG era. I'm
Yeah.
not saying WWE is going to become Attitude again. It's not. Nick Khan made that clear. But for
Mm.
me, and to hear the crowd chanting what I've been chanting for years, which is
And that was
new,
the
they
original.
sucks.
And that was the
New,
original. That
they
was the
sucks.
original
Yes,
chant.
that was
That
the
was the
original.
original chant. Yeah.
And then the treatment that they got on Raw, they were getting booed louder than Dirty Dom,
Oh
which is
yeah, they couldn't even
loud.
talk, and
They
that's
couldn't even
crazy.
talk. And you know what? They're playing awesome heels. I already love Kofi as a heel. I already love Xavier Woods as a heel. They're like, we did nothing wrong. What's wrong with you people? We did nothing wrong.
And this go back to what I was saying before.
Mm.
At this there's a lot of like, and this is like what I do. This is my theory with Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is a massive villain. He's just a villain playing a face, a baby face. He's not a heel.
Not yet. Not
He's
yet.
not a heel, but no. But remember, I said he's not a heel. He's a villain.
Mm.
He's not a heel. He's a villain, as a baby face villain. All right, which is a completely different thing to being a heel. And what he's doing, he's turning like people that's baby face. He's not turning them heels. They just they had enough with the bullshit. That's what happened with KO. He just had enough. That's what happened with the New Day. They just had enough, of the bullshit. That's why I love that cross when they went to Cody Rhodes and Cody was
Yeah.
like, look, you embarrassed and whatever. And they just look at him, who's
You should be
talking?
ashamed of
Like,
yourselves. Yeah,
just
yeah.
change. So it's like, look who's talking. And they just
Yeah,
laugh and
exactly.
move.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
it just pans out perfect what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes is the biggest villain that you can ever see. He just works in the background. By the time he turns heel, like everything will come up together. But yet he just this is a funny part, and they're doing it in such a weird way. They're not heels kind of stuff. They're not. They just had enough of trying to put a like when you had enough of trying to be nice
Yeah.
and just to see like the joke. It's the joke effect. There we go. It's the joke effect. That's it. It's a jerk effort. You put your smiley face the whole time until they keep you down, being you down, until you know what? I'm just gonna become the joke. That's it. I don't give a fuck anymore. And that's
Mm.
what's happening with so many wrestlers. Their characters are becoming that joker. So much bullshit that well, you know what? Okay, let's do it. Oh, okay, I had enough. I can't put the smile face anymore. I'll do whatever. I don't give the boo me. That's not gonna hear me anymore. And that's what's happening. We don't have this face, baby face or heroes. We got these villains, and then we got these not heroes, but it's just I don't know the proper way to say it, But it's we got more villains than heroes. That's it's just a really weird way they're
Mm.
doing it. Hunter's been a genius doing it, and it's just slowly broken, especially Cody Rhodes when it's slowly showing his true colors. And it's just crazy. Love what's happening with the New Day. It's absolutely amazing, and just like you said, they got boo worse than freaking Dirty Dom, and that's something.
That's something, man. Yeah.
That is definitely something.
Mm.
Look, we still got time before we gotta finish the block. So, um, Survivor Series, we were more wrong than ever before.
Oh, that's
We
like
ever
if
been.
yeah,
I
if
think,
it proved anything, it proved that we know absolutely nothing about professional wrestling in the WWE
I
at the
think I
moment.
got the one that I'm happy about is I got one right.
Finn Balor
No, we got two
interfering.
rights, but yeah,
Finn Balor interfering. Yeah.
the one that got the whole story right, it was that one. I
Yeah.
was like, okay, I'm good.
Yeah.
At least I got
Hmm.
one right.
That was a good get. That was a good get.
But it was like perfect time because I knew it was gonna happen. But let's go into the women's what's it called war games,
Yeah.
which we had Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Naomi, Asuka, Bailey against the Judgment Day, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez against Nia Jax, Tiffany Strata, and Candice LeRae. Which another thing happened that we thought was gonna happen, and it almost happened, was the cash in.
Yeah.
But first of all, how good was Rhea Ripley's entrance?
Oh, mate. No,
A mask,
everything she does just turns to gold, man.
a
Everything.
mask. And I
Everything.
love how
Yeah.
Buddy Murphy and her, they keep like referring each other
Mm.
in the
Yeah.
entrances and all that
And
stuff.
she
They just,
wrestled in it, man. She wrestled in it. Like, that's insane.
that's fuck. Imagine getting hit by that freaking mask.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
that
like, look, in terms of the match itself, I thought the match started off slow.
that
There
the
was some
whole match. I think you know what the
there was
whole
some
match was.
timing issues. Nia Jax had some timing issues. She had with some of the chair shots that were she I don't like using the word botch, but she mistimed those chair shots. They were a bit soft, they were a bit slow. But it turned into a really good match. Like that
At the end,
spot
yeah.
that yeah, Sky did again with the bin
And
off the
Tiffany
top of the
Stratton,
cage.
yeah,
And Tiffany Stratton with the moonsault off the top of the cage. That was it turned into a really great match. And they like yeah, it was a great way to start the pay per view or the PLE. No, it was good that and Rhea pinned Liv. Like that's very significant.
that's
Rhea
important.
Ripley pinned Liv Morgan.
Yeah, and that's
Obviously
a
their feud's
huge.
continuing. It's going to continue until she gets that strap back. But we saw how Raw ended with Io Sky and Rhea Ripley holding the belt.
Yeah,
And Rhea's like, yeah, all right, it's your turn next. But
not coming back for it.
Yeah, it's mine. You
Yeah,
can borrow it, but it's mine. Yeah.
yeah. But at your point that you were saying about the very slow, I think it was the
Mm,
whole time. It wasn't just the beginning, because the beginning was Bailey and Nia Jax. Then Naomi comes in, then Candy pushed Tiffany Stratton away and gets in, which was amazing. Which it ties
mm,
in with the turning heel of
yeah.
Tommaso Ciampa and
Yeah.
Gargano, which is finally happening.
Finally. Yes.
Um, then Bianca, Tiffany, Io Sky, Raquel Rodriguez, Rhea Replay, and Lee Morgan, which we say was real, is going to be one of the last ones just to look after her because of the eyes.
Mm,
Um, but yeah, like the whole match was really erratic. It wasn't
mm,
slow. It was erratic. The whole match was. I don't know if it was the camera angles. I think the camera angles didn't help in a lot of times. I think because you could see it kind of in some spots in the men's war games, but the
mm.
camera was placed in the right spot, so it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
Um, but in the women's, like the camera angles were really bad.
Well, it's probably
And
harder with the two rings.
it could be harder with the two rings, fair
Mm,
enough, but it looks like the
mm,
whole match was erratic.
yeah.
Like just
Mm,
in like it got really well at the end. Yes, it
yeah.
got really well there. But I think overall it was really bad. It was just not it was a good way to end because good way to start because it ended really well. I think the last 10 minutes probably was the best part of it.
Yeah.
But the whole first part of it was like, oh, it was a drag.
Mm,
Such a drag. I was some points like, is this really happening? Is this for
yeah.
real?
And
Is
there was
something
no Jade Cargill, nothing at all, and not
no,
we're
nothing
not
about
we're
Jericho.
nowhere close to seeing who it was that
Yeah.
got her backstage. Um,
Yeah, so nothing happened. No surprise. And the fact that Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Naomi, Asuka, and Bailey won,
mm,
that was crazy. I didn't think we were
yeah,
gonna win.
mm,
They won in a really good way. We see a full on babyface Rhea Ripley now. She's fully
yeah,
babyface now. The way she celebrated with Asuka was crazy. Um, and the fact they were all holding hands together, Bailey didn't like what's it called Bianca Belair didn't look weird to Bailey. Nothing.
yeah,
Everyone was really happy. They won and stuff like that.
mm,
So that was really strange. I don't know why it happened. It was good. Don't get me wrong. But I think the most important part is what you said. Rhea
yeah,
wins the war games, beating Liv Morgan, which are really important.
mm,
And the great spot that Tiffany Stratus and Io Sky done, which Io Sky has is become like a signature move that Io Sky does every single time she's been in a war game. She's been three or four. And every
yeah,
single one of them, she's done the same spot. So it's like everyone waits for this time. She had like like the beam was like painted and everything was ready for her to go into it,
yeah,
which was really good. Look, we're gonna leave it to there. So when we come
yeah.
back, we can talk better about the rest. We're going to injuries and then we're going to what's gonna happen in Saturday night main event.